There we go.
I just appreciate your guys' work on this.
Okay. Ready, guys? Okay. Oh, got a thumbs up. I'm ready. Okay. All right. Well, good morning. Thank you for taking the time to join us as we come together to address a very, very important issue for our communities and the Commonwealth as a whole. Today, we acknowledge an unfortunate reality, but it's one that's desperately needed to be addressed in Pennsylvania. Right now, we have witnessed a marked increase in violent crime over the last decade. As a wife, a mom, I'm very concerned for the safety of her community. This is an issue that hits close to home, and not only for me, but for countless others across the Commonwealth. It's incumbent upon us as concerned citizens and state legislators to put into motion effective, lasting policies that make sure that we navigate evolving crime, as well as making sure that crime that is happening is prosecuted. We need to provide the public safety and must understand that it is a core function of government that we make sure our communities are safe. It's among the reasons that I have been a passionate advocate for victims' rights, law enforcement, and criminal justice reform in my career. In addition to championing bipartisan clean slate laws, first in the nation, started here in Pennsylvania, as well as expanding it when we knew it needed to be, I authored the Victims' Rights Bill to have the voice of our victims in our Constitution. I also served as the co-chair of the bipartisan, bicameral Criminal Justice Reform Caucus, and I have been appointed to serve on PCCD. And I tell you this simply because these are groups that have the pulse of crime in Pennsylvania. They understand what is needed, they understand what government needs to do to respond, and they understand what our communities are asking for. To do that, I'm proud to be able to bring that background to this discussion and continue my advocacy by sponsoring bills in this package. This bill, to create the ability to use prosecutors that are well-trained within the Office of the Attorney General to assist our county DAs. And you may ask how that happens. Well, our law enforcement officers go above and beyond to ensure that our communities are safe. They do an incredible job, and they need to be supported by good policy that empowers them to do their jobs. A piece of legislation that I'm contributing to this package seeks to do exactly that. The legislation that I'm offering would permit prosecutors of the Office of Attorney General to be available to supplement and enhance the staffing of our county district attorney's offices when they are needed. Each county elects its own DA, who is responsible for prosecuting nearly all the crime that happens in that county. And DA offices are all staffed to meet the normal caseload. No DA can predict when the need for additional prosecutors will arise. Although the need for extra hands may be rare, it can severely impact a county's justice system when it does happen. Sometimes extra hands are needed to handle dips in employment if some attorneys leave, maybe an increase in criminal activity, or simply to devote more time or attention to a serious case that has come up. To ensure that DAs are not overburdened and can effectively carry out their duties and responsibilities on behalf of our communities, my bill would create and fund a unit of experienced prosecutors within the Office of Attorney General, who would be able to, upon request, be able to temporarily help and work for a local county DA. This isn't a partisan issue. This is a common sense and a smart safeguard to have in place to help DAs when they are in need. Because when they are in need, that means our communities are in need, and we need to respond and defend our communities and keep them safe. Our DAs do that on a daily basis. This is not only an investment in law enforcement, this is an investment in public safety and in justice for the victims of violent crime. Those who commit crimes in our Commonwealth must answer for them, as the law provides, and they deserve a quick, fair trial. My bill will address public safety concerns, support law enforcement, and ensure prosecution is happening as intended in the justice system. I'm prepared to continue to fight on behalf of our law enforcement and on behalf of Pennsylvania citizens who are demanding a change for safer communities. I'm looking forward to the future decisions among my colleagues and stakeholders to get this done. Prosecutors need the tools to efficiently run their offices day to day, and they do so with the taxpayer in mind. But when they have a need for additional staff, that one time that they need that extra staff, they need to know that we have their backs. And my bill that I will be introducing will do just that. And I look forward to its quick, swift introduction and passage. With that, I'll hand it over to my colleague, Representative Ecker.
Thank you, Administrator Delosier, and thank you for your leadership, not only with crime victims, but also with helping crime violence that is happening in our Commonwealth. Look, one of the biggest tenements, the core functions of government, is public safety. There's one voice in Harrisburg that talks about that, and that's the House Republicans. The House Republicans have been talking about public safety for the last decade. More so, we have been the champions of public safety throughout our Commonwealth's history. And that's why this package of bills is so important. It outlines things from prosecution to re-entry into our life, a public life, of how we can combat criminal violence. And look, there's rhetoric out there that says crime violence has gone down, and statistics can be used in all kinds of fancy ways to show that crime violence has gone down. But severe criminal violence is not going down. In fact, violent criminal violence is on the rise. And in fact, when you have DAs in certain parts of this Commonwealth that don't charge certain crimes, of course violence is going to, crime's going to go down, criminal violence is going to go down, because you can't report, if a crime's not reported, how is it going to be showing up in statistics? Our focus has been on these severe violent criminals, because ultimately that is who our constituents, our families, our community members care about, is criminal, severe violent criminals. That's why my bill that I have in this package deals with that issue. Everybody's heard of Megan's Law. It makes sense. Sexually violent criminals should be noticed. We should know, if we're moving into a community, who those individuals are. We do not want to raise our families in a community where there are sexually violent predators. Therefore, my idea with this is, why don't we target severe violent criminals, those that are committing the most heinous violent acts in our communities? Assault, aggravated assault, things that are really, really terrifying to our families. Why not have a registry for severe violent criminals? That's what my bill does. My bill would identify individuals who commit severe crimes of violence on a registry, just like we do for Megan's Law. Now, there's a twofold thing here with this. One, families in our communities know if there's a severe violent criminal in their neighborhood. But second, it also helps these individuals that commit these felonies and commit these heinous acts to get the support they need to help recidivism, and to help them to be productive citizens in our Commonwealth. Because look, at the end of the day, we want everybody to have the opportunity to be successful. And yes, there are people that do very terrible things in our world. But our job as law-abiding citizens is to help those individuals not continue to commit those crimes. This bill that I'm introducing will help that. One, it identifies these severe violent criminals. And two, it helps provide counseling to them so that they get the help they need. The people that commit these types of crimes clearly are dealing with something. You don't just go out and hurt people just because you're having a bad day. There's clearly some type of issue going on, and we need, as government, to provide the help for them to get out of that situation, to provide them the resources, the counseling, the mental health services, so that they can have the tools to rehabilitate themselves. Maybe they're dealing with some type of drug issue. Maybe they're dealing with some type of other issue. But we need to give them the tools to be able to get out of that cycle of criminal violence. This bill will help that. Look, House Republicans have stood at the forefront of not only helping victims, not only helping our communities, but also helping criminals get on the right path. We are a compassionate group. We care about everybody. And this package of bills works to that end. We have got to give tools in the toolbox to our law enforcement. We have got to give tools in the toolbox for our prosecution teams. And we have to give tools in the toolbox to those that commit these crimes to get right on the back track. This package of bills will do that. I'm proud to be a part of this. I'm proud that Leader Cutler has helped us coordinate this package of bills. It is something that we as House Republicans will continue to lead on, and depending on what happens next session when we're in the majority, this will be the first couple bills that we will be introducing so that we can lead Pennsylvania forward, so that we can make this place a place where people want to raise their families, grow our population, and help those that truly need help. With this, this concludes our press conference. If there's any questions, we'll take them. I want to appreciate the work of the leader, the work of Administrator Delosier, and everybody else that's been part of this package.